Welcome back to another episode. Where are we at today, Kayla?
We are in Arkansas.
You're my second guest from Arkansas.
Yeah.
What part of Arkansas are you from?
So probably 30 minutes-ish from Little Rock.
Little Rock, huh?
Yeah.
What part of the state is Little Rock in? I'm not too good with my geography.
So Central.
Central?
Uh-huh.
Is there a big deer there?
You can find them.
If you can find them?
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's some pretty big deer here. Yeah, they're just heavily hunted if they're known about.
I'm still kind of learning that there's big deer outside of Iowa. I think there's big deer in all the states. You just have to find them.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I appreciate you joining. I usually like to start off getting a little background of all the guests. We all know everybody that joins hunts, but what about outside of hunting? A couple minutes filling us in there, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I'm married. I have 3 kids. I'm a part-time stay-at-home mom, and then I work as a nurse practitioner in non-traditional medicine. So between my family, my career, and then now something a little bit harder, I stay pretty busy.
So, what do you mean part time?
So I work 2.5 days a week, and the rest of the time I'm at home with my kids.
Sounds like a full time job to me.
It's very busy. I only get paid for part of it.
Well, it's probably all rewarding, hopefully.
Very, very.
Cool. So, yeah, I came across you on TikTok. You actually reached out to me, and sounds like you're doing some pretty cool stuff. But where did it all get started at? How'd you get started hunting?
My dad is the youngest of 4 boys, and here I come, his first child, and I'm a girl, and he has not really been around girls. So he put a bow in my hand as soon as I could walk, and he used to put me in a backpack when I was like 2 or 3 years old and take me hunting, and I've never known the difference. I've always been in the woods.
How old do you think you were?
I think the first deer he shot when I was with him, I think I was 2.
Really?
Yeah, he put coloring book and crayons in the bottom of the stand, and when the deer came, he said, "Hey, Kayla, see that deer? You want me to shoot it?" And at first I was like, "No." And then he said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Go ahead." And he shot it. I helped him blood trail it. The rest is history.
Very cool. So all the way through your younger years, you were kind of tagging along with him hunting.
Yeah. I think I got my first deer when I was 10. I have a brother that's 2.5 years younger, and yes, he's a big hunter too.
You were the one that was always getting tagged along.
My dad would sometimes work night shift, and then he would have us during the day. And if he wanted to hunt in the afternoon, we had to go too. So there we went.
There you go. Or are you kind of a daddy's girl? He enjoys your company.
Oh, yeah. I think I was around 4 when he gave me my first anatomy lesson. He was gotten a deer. So I kind of blamed my medical side on him a little bit.
You think that's what started it?
Maybe, maybe.
Do you have any good memories of hunting with him before you got started? Was there any hunts that kind of stood out over the rest of them that kind of got you hooked, or was it just being with him?
I think it was just being with him because I was in the woods with him a lot, whether we were hunting or not. It was, the preparation. I always watched him, helped him move brush, put out corn, build the permanent stands. We mostly hunted out of permanent stands growing up. So I think my biggest memory is in the fall, October specifically, he would load the truck up with all the Halloween candy. And I remember that just being really exciting because for one, he didn't keep a lot of candy at the house. I don't know, just the fall, seeing all the Halloween stuff come out, it just reminds me of going and spending time in our cabin.
All right, we're back. Sorry, listeners. We just adjusted the microphone. So you always went out with some candy. Was this before Halloween or was this like leftover?
This was like probably mid-October. We would spend most weekends going to the cabin. I just remember hearing, gosh, what was that? I can't remember the song. There was a song, it was always Finally Friday, the country music song, eating candy. And then there was like Marie de Laveau or something like that song, Another Man Done Gone. That was kind of our song. And the things just remind me of going and spending the weekend hunting with my dad.
Do you think he just brought the candy to keep you occupied?
Probably.
Well, they didn't have iPads or phones back then.
That's right. It was either that or like crayons.
Before we move on, are you taking your kids hunting now?
So my oldest is 18. He got his first 5 deer with mom, and he hunts a little bit. He's not super into it. My 4-year-old, when she was 3 last year, I took her on her first hunt and we got a dove. And then my youngest is 2, and he's already been to the woods with me, checking cameras and putting corn out in some places.
When they're younger, or even the youngest one, are you taking stuff with them to kinda keep them occupied? Because I've taken a niece and nephew a few times, and they get bored pretty easy.
So with my daughter, when I took her last year, yes, we had one of those color pads that it's kind of electronic and you can just clear it. This year it will be Kindle Fire because that keeps her attention a little bit better now. And then with my 2 year old, he loves the four wheeler. He likes to actually carry stuff. So like I put out like a scent rope and I just let him carry the package and he's very about it. As long as he's moving, he's good. I don't know that he's ready to sit in the stand because he's very, very hyperactive, but she's already asking to go. When I get home from work, both of them meet me at the door and they're like, "Bo, are you going to shoot your bow?" And they want to go with me to get the arrows and they're very into it.
So when they go with you, you said you have, like, a permanent stand. Is it like a tower blind or what?
There's a couple different ones. The one that I took my daughter in last year, it's on the ground and it's just plywood with a tin roof, just enough to keep you dry if it's raining. Kind of a permanent ground blind, I guess. And the others are elevated a little bit, but not like I wouldn't call it a tower because in Arkansas, most of the places that we hunt are very wooded, so you don't really have to be that high to see.
Then would this be, like, your ground or your dad's setup?
The permanent stands are my dad's, yes. I just started mobile hunting this year. The stands that I would take my kids in, unless it's a ground blind that I, put up. But yeah, they're all my dad's.
So you must live pretty close to where you grew up then?
Yes. So we just moved into a house and my dad owns the rest of the property. We live on about 90 acres here and I can hunt just right behind the house. And across the street is where my parents live and I can hunt behind their house. And then they've got another piece of property about not very many acres, like 40 acres, about 20 minutes from here. And then we have another like private 90, about 40 minutes from here.
Do you get out with your dad, or do the kids go out with your dad anymore?
I still hang out with my dad. We actually, about a week ago, we just tilled up part of this pasture to put in a food plot. We planted some winter wheat and oats. But I still hunt with dad. Every year we end up sitting in a blind together. We double on a couple of doe. We enjoy doing that. Yeah.
So how was the culture growing up in the hunting family? Was it just, like, your family together hunting, or were you a part of some other families? Like, in Iowa, where I grew up, I just kinda wanna relate it to how I grew up. A bunch of families would get together and we'd, like, push deer and kinda, like, make a week-long, not necessarily deer camp out of it, but it wasn't just, like, my dad taking me out. So I'm just trying to compare and give people an idea of how it was in Arkansas, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It was mostly our family. My mom didn't hunt a lot, but she would go sit in the stand occasionally. She mostly stayed around the cabin while we went and hunted. We really didn't hunt with anyone else. Probably 10 years ago ish. There's some public land that you can put in permits for to have like a 2-day gun hunt. And there's a couple of times where we would put in with some other people, but for the most part, it was just us.
What's the name of that called?
Name of what called?
The place where you put in permits for?
Oh, there's multiple WMAs around here.
So you're the second one that I've had on from Arkansas, and he doesn't do it anymore, but he said his dad and him used to do it. And he said there'd be like 100 trucks waiting at the gate opening day for him to let him in. I can't think of what the place was called though.
If it's at Gates, probably Camp Robbins.
I don't think it was. I'll look it up and see what it is.
Okay.
If you said it, I'd recognize it. But he told me how big it was, and I looked it up. I'm like, holy crap.
I don't know if by me to, I don't think you have to have a permit there. And then there's Ed Gordon. Those are the ones I know of.
I'll look it up. I can't stand not remembering things, but it sounded like an Indian reservation or something. Most of your hunting now, is it kind of you and your husband or your kids, or do you spend a lot of time hunting with your dad now?
So far, I've been hunting mostly by myself. There was one day I went with my husband, but we split. We followed two different onyx pins and we would just meet up for lunch and then go back. And then the rest of the time, it's just been me. I haven't sat with anyone else. I've hung my stand myself. And he's been hanging at home with the kids on the days I go. So we've kind of had to split that.
So he's okay watching the kids while you go out and hunt.
So most of the time that I've been out, it's been very hot and he's like, you can have it. Next week, he's off the entire week. I get to go one day with him. but he's hunting all week public next week.
Is the rut kicking in?
Yeah, yeah, we've seen several bucks chasing doe, like hardcore.
Yeah, I think in Iowa, we're just now starting to kick in. I know a couple of my buddies have killed some nice ones, but I haven't even thought about getting out yet.
I use kind of the early season. So I was telling you, I haven't really mobile hunted at all. Never hung a stand until this year. I use that early time to practice, I guess, for whenever it matters. So I could be a little bit more efficient.
So how often are you shooting your bow?
How often? Probably 4 or 5 days a week.
That's pretty good. I see you just got a new bow.
I did. I did. That was wild.
Tell me about that.
Oh yeah. So I think nothing else having older equipment. My Hoyt is probably 13 years old. She shoots just fine. She's put many a deer down. But one of my followers reached out and he was just like, "Hey, I really appreciate your content. I have a little girl. I'd like for her to have someone kind of like you to look up to. And I think if you're going to do this right, you just need the best bow that you can have." I didn't know he was sending me a bow. He said, "I have something I want to send you to contribute to your content, I guess, as an investor." I didn't know what it was going to be. And then a bow with sight and all the fixing shows up.
What kind of bow was?
A Matthews Lift RS, brand new.
Not like a cheap bow either.
No, no.
What's this guy do that he just sends random people bows?
I know that he works at a bow shop. Don't know a whole lot about him. It wasn't like creepy, like, let me send it to your house. What's your address kind of a thing. It was like, just give me an address you're comfortable receiving something from. Obviously, I didn't use my home address, but everything was there. And he's just like, good luck.
Does he have a pretty good TikTok following?
I don't know. I don't know what platform he follows me on. I have my email attached to the different social media platforms in case, someone wants to reach out. And I don't know what platform he follows me on.
Either way, nice guy apparently.
Yeah, super nice. Wild.
So, is that bow an upgrade compared to what you had before?
I mean, my Hoyt's great, but it's very old. And the newer technology, that new one's gonna shoot way faster, be a lot more quiet, be a lot easier to hoist up in the stand without it wobbling up. So
Perfect. So, you mentioned your dad took you. Were you primarily gun or archery when you got started hunting?
I was mostly gun. I didn't start bow hunting until I was probably in my early 20s. I kind of got a little bit of bad taste in my mouth for all of it. I was in shooting sports and there's a lot of pressure with it. And so I kind of set stuff. I mean, I never missed a deer season. There was a good period of time where I just wasn't that into it. And then I picked my bow back up. And after my very first time I got a deer with my bow, I actually got two in that same, like within minutes of each other. And after that, I was so hooked. Life happened and I set it down again. And here I am.
So, you went a while without archery hunting? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I am picking my bow back up to hunt after I haven't shot a deer with it in probably 8 or 9 years.
Or are you going to shoot another deer with it? Or are you set on the Matthews now?
Oh, I'm going to finish out the rut with this Hoyt. I don't want to switch it up. I mean, I'm shooting like that at 30 yards. So I'm going to finish out this season, maybe at the very end. If I get the Matthews going, I might do like some late season hunting because our bow season doesn't end until the very end of February. So
That late?
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
It probably doesn't get that cold down there either.
No, I mean, we might have a few days where it does, but not compared to y'all.
That's not too bad. I'm used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I know we're probably all over the place. See, I'm probably the one that wanders in these conversations. So, our listeners, we're trying to keep this a little more in line instead of just wandering all over. But I want to hear about your first solo kill. I imagine the first couple of deer you killed were with your dad.
Oh, yeah. So are you talking about archery or rifle?
Either or. So I want to hear both. The first time you harvested an animal with your dad, I just heard back from the guy. Still wandering, Fort Chaffee.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So how old were you when you got one with your dad? And at what point did you start kind of going off on your own?
I want to say I was 8 or 10 when I got my first deer with my dad, and it was with a shotgun. It was a doe. I think he was 10 times more excited than I was. It's like he had been training me up to that point, and when it finally happened, I'm pretty sure there were tears in his eyes. And I remember I was excited, but I remember seeing like the absolute excitement in my dad's face. The first deer I got by myself was a non-typical small little 6 point, and that was with a muzzleloader. And that was pretty exciting. The most exciting was my first bow kill.
How old were you when you got one with the bow?
I was 21 or 22.
I always like to ask this. So, the people that archery hunt, so from when you got started archery hunting until you killed your first buck, how long was it?
Killed my first buck with archery.
Mhm.
I haven't. I've got an all bow.
Really?
Yeah, that's the goal this season is to get I want a bow buck bad.
So, okay, you'll get it. So, how many years have you hunted or tried to get a buck with a bow and haven't got it done yet?
I would say that until this point, my hunting have been so scattered because of kids or grad school, or I've had a lot of medical issues where I've had to have surgery and it's put me out many seasons as far as archery goes, because, it does require a lot of core strength. And if you're recovering from some type of a surgery or an injury, you're out. So I would say that I've never actually sat out to specifically kill a buck. I was just out on a mission to deer on the ground until this year.
Until this year?
Hmm.
Well, hopefully it works out for you. I know most of the people I've talked to, I mean, started hitting it hard with archery a little bit younger, but seems like 4 to 6 years is pretty normal to kill first buck with a bow.
Yeah.
But sounds like you kind of have it figured out. So hopefully it's this year.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Do you have some pretty good ones on camera?
Oh, yeah, in multiple places. That's the thing about cameras, though. It's like you can't hurt your cameras. You'll constantly be torn, and I think that it kind of messes with your head if you're following the camera.
Yeah, it gives you a good idea where to start, anyways.
Hmm.
So this is your first year really going after a buck. What changed?
With as far as archery goes, it's because I've never gotten a buck with my bow. I've shot bucks with rifles, things like that. But with archery, it's much more of a challenge, and a buck is much with anything. Obviously, it's much harder to get, and so I just want it bad. I've not. It's something I've never done.
Well, if people listening don't follow you on TikTok, they should, but it seems like you kind of caught a bug of something recently.
Yeah. So I've been a mom my entire adult life, and I went through a lot of school, worked really hard, and I just want something for me, I guess, which is another reason I did the fit to hunt thing. It's just something for myself, and other people seem to really be interested and obviously invested if they're willing to send me a bow for it. But I'm at the point, where my kids aren't babies anymore. I have the time to dedicate to archery now. I was raised that if you are going to use a gun or use a bow, you need to have the practice and the respect for the animal to be able to be ethical whenever you're hunting. And I didn't have that time and dedication when my youngest two were little. I was constantly chasing them around. There wasn't the opportunity to shoot my bow 4 and 5 days a week to make sure that I would, be the best and the most ethical if I were going to try to take a deer. So I have that time and I have that dedication now.
So it's more of a time thing rather than just kind of picking up the bug again.
Yeah, time has been very limited. I finished grad school at 30. I had my daughter at 31, and I had my youngest son at 33 or 34. So I've been between, grad school, there's clinicals, starting your new job, had a baby, another baby. There was no time. There's no time for that dedication at all.
What about the husband? Did he find time to hunt when you had little?
Of course he does.
Of course he did.
It's a little different, I guess. Everyone wants mom, not so much dad when they're little bitty. They're getting there. But
There you go.
now my kids they're like my little golden retrievers. They can go get my arrows now.
I mean, I don't have any kids, but it's just a balance shift since your kids were little until now. Just being able to balance things a little bit easier with life and family.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Where we we're living. So we just moved into a house about a month ago, and we were living in the subdivision, and there wasn't as much room for shooting or outdoor play. And now our backyard is like a 50-acre pasture. So there's room for them to run around and play and me to shoot my bow or do whatever. That has helped some to them have their space to get their energy out while mom does her thing on the other side of the yard.
That's a big backyard. I'm jealous. I still live in town.
Oh, yeah, it's a blessing for sure.
So you said your oldest was 18. Does he hunt yet?
He hunts some. He got his first, I think I was telling you, he got his first 5 deer with me. He hunts, he dabbles in it a little bit. He's pre-med, so he started college this fall. So he's pretty busy with school. But he goes a little bit. He's just not really his thing, I guess.
Well, that's just kind of a tough age with school and girls and
Hmm.
friends and all that stuff.
He really likes his truck and he likes doing gaming stuff. So
How is the culture where you're at in hunting? Is it like everybody hunts? I know waterfowl is pretty big down there.
So I wouldn't say everybody hunts. I actually don't have a lot of female friends that hunt. I have one friend that does like to hunt deer with a bow, and she's gotten a few. I have a couple that will waterfowl hunt. But female wise, as far as like connections that I have, it's few and far between. Guys, though, there's a lot of, I mean, male dominate the deer woods for sure around here.
I'm gonna have to hook you up with one of my previous guests. I think she's a little bit younger, 23 or 24, but she's all over hunting. And yeah, if you look up, her name's Georgia. You can listen to her episodes. I can put you in touch with her.
Okay.
Yeah, she kind of likes to do the TikTok and everything like you. When you do get to go out and hunt, what's been one of the biggest challenges so far? I know time is hard to come by. I think that's how it is for everybody, but is it access or is just certain things keep going wrong that just kind of frustrate you?
Time is the biggest one, like you mentioned. I would say that the pieces of property that I get to hunt, I share obviously with others. For example, the 90 acres on where my house is connected to, only one person could really hunt that because most of it's pasture and then you're hunting the center of two woodlines. So I would say, depending on where other people are planning to go and who's a little bit more aggressive about it, it's just having access. The public places that we hunt are about 40 minutes away from here, and I don't have a truck yet. I have a Tahoe. If I were to go there by myself, I would have to borrow a truck, which me and my husband would let me. But then at the same time, how far in am I that I could get it to my vehicle by myself? I mean, yes, I work out and all that, but deer are heavy. Figuring that stuff out, I mean, I'm not against it. It's still going to happen. I'm sure someone would help, but that part kind of plays in the back of my head a little bit.
Do you think that kind of holds you back from getting out a little bit further in some of these public areas, worrying about having to get stuff out?
Yeah, for sure.
Does this 18-year-old boy live?
He, yeah, he to get in where we are, you do have to go through a gate. You do have to sign in. Then you have to drive pretty far in, and then some of the pins that I have. Let's say I walked between going to my stand, back to the truck, back to the stand, and then back that evening. I walked 5 miles, so it's a good trek back there.
Why'd you have to walk 5 miles?
I was following the pins. It was a good spot because of these kids and childcare. He goes and scouts or I go and scout. Well, he had gone to scout and he sent me the pin that's a very bad and gave me a general idea of where to go. So I'm following this pin. I go through two creek beds, finally get to my spot, I find scrapes, find a white oak tree, and I cool off a bit. But it was deep in there. I mean, it was a good spot. Ended up seeing a big old buck right before the sun went down. Too far to shoot. But it was pretty far back in there. Now, not all the places that you obviously hunt have to be that deep in the woods. But for example, that's where I was. I know I'm going next Thursday, and I don't think I'm going to be going that far again. I think I'm going to hunt a little bit closer on a ridge. For example, that was where one of my pins that I followed were, and it was deep in there.
What was going through your head sitting out there? Like, what if I shoot a big buck clear out here? What am I going to do?
Yeah. So it was a combination of that and I know that there's a bear in that area. Yeah. He was hunting not very far from me on that day. So if I had gotten a deer, he would have been able to get the deer card out and help.
What if this bear would have showed up?
Well, I mean, he may have taken an arrow too, so I don't know.
Is there bears where you're at?
Yeah. So one of my favorite hunting stories to tell. I was hunting on private land. My dad was across the creek from me, and I was bow hunting. And I wasn't big into carrying a pistol when I was bow hunting. Wasn't that worried about it until this hunt. And now I carry one every single hunt. I was in a wood line about 30 yards from the fence where they have cattle. And at the back of the pasture, I was looking and I saw something moving and I was like, they don't have cows this time of year in that pasture. And I just got to squinting and looking. And then there's two little black things that are following it. And I'm like, that's not how a cow moves. Freaking bear. So I text my dad and he doesn't text me back fast enough. So I call him and I'm shaking. He goes, bear, there's a bear. It's like 200 yards, 300 yards away. It's not that far. What am I going to do? And he's like, you got your pistol? No, I don't have a pistol. Never seen a bear here? And he's like, are you sure it's a bear? Yes, Dad, I know it's not a cow. Oh, there's no bear here. It's like, well, just get down, knock one. I'll meet you at the creek. So I do. And I'm like, walking like this.
He told you to get down? Come on, Dad.
I know. So I knock one. I'm walking to the creek and I'm about 50 yards from the creek and I hear something to my right, which would be north, running. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to die. No one's going to believe it, but I'm about to get killed by a bear. So I go ahead and I pull back and I'm like, whenever I see this thing, I'm just going to shoot it. So it's really thick where I could hear the noise. And as soon as it pops out, it's a little doe. She's looking behind her and I'm like, crap, that bear's after her. So I said, man, she stopped, center punched her. I tossed my bow to the ground and I run across that creek. And my dad, he saw me turn the corner and he thought that bear was after me. So he put his stuff down and took off running too. And I was like, what are you running from? He's like, whatever you are. I'm like, no, I just shot a deer. The bear can have it. It can have my bow. We're going back to the house. So later we came back and got the doe with a four-wheeler. Pretty cool.
How old were you at this point?
I was like 23.
And he was running with you? He wasn't running to save you?
No, he was like, well, if you saw, maybe there really was a bear. And actually, some of our neighbors ended up getting it on trail camera. And I got a phone call and an apology because he didn't believe me for a little bit.
Do they have bear seasons where you're at?
Yes, yes. You have to call every morning to see if there are any tags left.
What do you mean?
So every morning you have to call and see if there are tags still available, unless Arkansas has met like their quota. So if you want to go bear hunting that morning, you get up early and you call and it'll say how many tags or that there's still tags available. There's actually been two guys in the last 6 weeks that were actually killed by bear in Arkansas. So it would be very interesting if they would increase our tags here because they're clearly getting a little bit thicker.
2 people were killed by black bears?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're suspicious that they're bears that had been fed, and that's why they were comfortable approaching, I guess.
So you said you had to call in. Do you like buy a tag? And then once the quota's off, they shut it off? Or how does that work? Do you have to buy a tag every day?
So I've had a lifetime hunting license in Arkansas since I was like 19 or 20. So don't know. I don't know how that works. I think maybe you just buy like a license, like a hunting license every year, and it comes with that. And it's like an option, but it's not like an add-on, I don't think.
Have you ever gone after bear?
Intentionally, no. We got one on camera on one of the properties, but it's hit or miss. No one's seen him in person. There've been bear on camera there, and I've hunted there several times, and I've never seen a bear. Honestly, I would love to go bear hunting. It would be terrifying and awesome.
Well, based on your previous story, doesn't sound like you want to go too bad.
I wasn't prepared. If I'm prepared, I'll be fine.
We'll see about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was obviously your favorite hunt of all time. What's your second favorite hunt of all time?
I would say that one is in my top 3. That one's very memorable because I was on the ground, on the move, scared. Something was running at me. I stopped it, shot it. The first deer I killed with a bow, that one was pretty memorable. I sat in a ladder stand for 4 hours in the pouring rain. And once the rain finally broke, 2 doe came across a fence. They got to about 15 yards. I shot one. I was so excited. I was shaking so hard. I grabbed another arrow and knocked it, and I made like a bleat sound a couple of times. And that second doe She came right back in, stood exactly where the other one did, and I popped her. My brother was maybe 200 or 300 yards away, and he could tell that something was going on. And he had to come to my stand. I was shaking so hard I could not get down. That is what made me want to bow hunt. That was the coolest experience ever. Another hunt that was really memorable, and I think it was the biggest buck I ever got. I was hunting with my husband. It was the first fall that we were married. We hadn't seen anything all morning, and I have my 7 millimeter '08, and he wasn't paying any attention. He was looking off, and I think it was about 200 yards away. I saw just at the end of the lane, I could just see antlers head down, and it was on the move. And I was like, "Well, I'm going to shoot it or I'm not." So I just nudged him. I said, "There's a buck. There's a big buck." Put my gun up. I shot it. He never saw the deer, and he was like, "Think that you struck that log down there." Excuse me, I'm not new to hunting. I know when I see a deer. He's like, "Kayla, I really don't think you saw anything." I'm like, "No, I did. I know I did. And I saw it. It was hit." And sure enough, 40 yards from where I shot it, there lies that deer. People just don't believe me whenever they're hunting with me. Bear, deer, nothing.
I don't believe you know how to do a bleat call.
Oh, don't make me do that on here.
Come on.
No.
I want to make everybody do a bleat call.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Me, me.
No, it's better than that. But it works. It works.
Hey, stop. Stop. That's what I do.
Stop. How do you get them to come back though?
No, I don't miss. As soon as they stop, they're done.
Yeah, but how do you get the second? My second one that came in, that's when I did the bleed. I didn't get it to stop. I get it to come back.
Never had to worry about that. It's usually one and done for me.
I try to fill all my tags. I got 3 deer last year.
How many tags do you get in Arkansas?
2 buck tags, and if you're using archery, I think you can get up to 4 doe.
Yeah, okay. Is the deer population pretty good where you're at?
Yeah. I mean, not where I've been hunting lately if you watch any of my YouTube stuff. But yeah, we have deer.
Maybe the population isn't the issue. Maybe you're scaring them all off.
Hey, if you watch my last YouTube video, you'll see I got one pretty dang close. I'm learning. I'm learning. I've been paying more attention to how important the wind is, especially if you're mobile hunting or really in general, I guess, if you're not hunting over corn and attracting them. So the wind wasn't in my favor for where my blind was. And I had to hunt my blind because my husband was on call. And if he got called in, I had to run back to the house to the kids. So I walked in from a completely different direction and kind of did what I call a scout and shit, found some scrapes. I found a willow oak with a lot of acorns and I sat just into the wood line from it and I watched. It was just a 4 point, but still, it got within 5 yards of me, never saw me, never smelled me. And that was really, really exciting.
What does a deer eat down there? Acorns?
What do you call them?
Acorns?
No, they're acorns. That's how you say it in Arkansas.
Acorns. Not to get off topic. Reese's versus Reese's?
They're Reese's.
Yeah, exactly. So many people call them Reese's. Like, man, watch a commercial.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of words like some people call them loppers. Some people call them pruners.
No, shears.
There you go. There's a different word for everyone has their own little way of saying something.
I wanted to ask you about this. So, how long have you been doing like the whole TikTok thing or you mentioned your YouTube video? Is that kind of a new adventure?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that gotta start somewhere. The TikTok thing, I played with it a little bit, but really I didn't start posting any type of consistent hunting anything until the end of July, maybe the beginning of August.
Has it been growing?
Yeah, so I think I had an old screenshot and I don't think it was even an intentional screenshot, but it was the beginning of September. I had 899 followers and now I'm like at 3,200.
In September?
Uh-huh.
It's growing pretty fast.
Yeah, it is. I didn't know people would be interested in watching an old mom learn new tricks with a bow. So I guess people are interested.
Sounds like you're having fun with it. I'd like to do more of that stuff, but I live in town. It's just hard to get that kind of content in town.
Yeah, I could understand that for sure.
So as you're kind of growing the TikTok, are you trying to like just share your journey of, I know you've bow hunted, but you're trying to kill your first buck. What are you trying to get out of it? Like, I know you want to share your story and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I want to share my story in that I think growing up for me, there weren't very many females. And again, social media wasn't a thing really. There weren't very many females, and there still aren't very many females that are really raw about how they learn something new. I think they go into it head first with success, and I'm perfectly fine showing my failures and obstacles. I'm unfortunately one of the ones that learns the hard way. So when I get busted, I share why I got busted by a deer. I talk about, equipment that I like or don't like, because as a female, it's completely different for us how things fit or how heavy something is. My intention with it is just to connect with other people. If it gets bigger than that, then that's really cool too. But I just want to be raw and honest, and I'm having a good time. I'm going to be doing this stuff anyways. And if it helps someone else not have to learn the hard way, then why not?
Have you had any other females reach out to your TikTok trying to team up or anybody that's looking for like some mentorship or any of that stuff?
I've had a few females reach out and say that you've inspired me to want to shoot or want to hunt. I know there's a couple that are new to archery. They're not hunting, but they have reached out. But as far as collaboration or hunting together, no, nothing like that.
Yeah, and your TikTok journey is still pretty early. Especially if you start getting a following, you should definitely kind of try passing it on to some of these younger women.
For sure. I haven't told her yet, but my setup, oh, it's so good. I've got someone picked out that I want to give my bow to whenever I switch over to the Matthews. She's shown interest in archery, and she wants me to help her figure out how to set up trail cameras. And that to me makes my content worth it, because I wanted someone to help me figure it out. No offense. I don't want to be mansplained or looked at differently because I'm a female. So having another female that could have reached out and helped me at this person's age, I would have loved it. So I'm glad I was able to inspire someone else to get interested in the outdoors. I know she's gotten a few deer with like a rifle, and I actually keep my fit to hunt YouTube stuff away from my personal life for the most part. But she started following me on TikTok, and she was like, I didn't know you loved it. I didn't know you were that good with a bow. And I'm like, oh, are you interested in this stuff? And she was like, yeah, I just don't know where to get started with the bow. And then she's like, I want to learn how to put out trail cameras. Will you teach me? That's kind of how that came about. A lot of people in my real life don't know about fit to hunt at all.
What holds her from hunting more? Did she just not grow up in a hunting family?
I don't think she did. I think uncles have taken her a few times, and that's been her experience.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's just interesting talking to different people and hearing about their culture of hunting and all that stuff. Do you think the hunting landscape has changed since you started hunting?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's become, unfortunately, more of a competition in the sport than when I grew up. It didn't matter like the size of the deer. There was no like shaming. It was a lot more family time, or at least for us, it was family time that we had. And it wasn't a matter of like who got the biggest one and poking fun at the person that, got the scrub or whatever.
What do you think has caused that shift?
I think the negative aspect of it comes from social media, and the people that are able to be successful are successful because of how they're set up. Not everyone has thousands of acres to hunt where everyone has a rule that you only shoot a 4 or 5-year-old buck. I think there's just this competition in general with the outdoors that really takes away from, for lack of a better word, the not the wholesomeness, but the intent behind it. Like I post a lot of stuff with Fred Bear on it. Hunting for me, I may go sit an entire day and not see anything, and I have a great time. And other people were like, well, what'd you see? Well, you didn't see anything, or you didn't have, a buck in range. You didn't bring anything home. It's a waste of time. I grew up where you were in the woods. That's all it took. And now it's like, well, you don't have anything yet. You don't have anything yet. Well, you're doing social media content. How do you not have 10 deer on camera already? I think a lot of people are trying to keep up with the ones that get paid to post these massive deer. And it becomes more of a competition than the actual reasoning behind hunting.
Makes perfect sense. It's more about, I always say it's hunting or killing. So killing, all they want is a trophy on their wall. They don't care how they get it, whether it's legal or not. They don't care if they kill it on the first day, Whereas hunting, you're kind of enjoying the journey to get there.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly it. It's the journey. And though I don't have a ton of deer on my YouTube channel, hunting the way that I've chosen to, I have learned so much more in these last 4 weeks than I have over the last few years. To be able to know I'm not going to be successful because of the wind direction and knowing how to walk in, quickly assess the area and know where to sit and have a buck walk within 5 yards of me, I wouldn't have been able to do that last year. There's no way. I've completely changed the way that I'm looking at things and going about it.
As you learn things, are you gonna take that, kind of post it on your TikTok and kinda help out the younger generation?
Absolutely. So I don't do that as much on my TikTok where I put it on my YouTube channel. And my husband's like, no one wants to hear you talk. I'm like, well, what else am I going to show them? But I'll say my last one, for example, I'm like, I couldn't hunt in my ground blind. The wind wasn't in my favor. I walked in, I scouted, I looked at the area. This is why I chose to sit here. Here comes the deer. Then, I get on my camera whenever the hunt's over and I tell them, like, this is why this worked out. Or maybe I got busted by a doe and this is why that didn't work out. I am going through the motions of teaching throughout my either success or my failure. I'm very honest about my failure. And I think that that's something that the outdoor industry doesn't show as much. I know I watch the hunting public a lot, and they will have episodes where they don't have a deer in range and they still post it. And I appreciate that because that's hunting. You don't go out there and just blast a big one every single time.
Speak for yourself. I can't remember the last day I went hunting and didn't kill a giant.
Well, you're in Iowa, it's not Arkansas.
Nah, I'm kidding. People fear Iowa when they think there's a giant behind every tree, and it's not that way. I mean, the biggest deer I've killed is 164.
So good.
People think everybody in Iowa's killed a 200-inch deer. It's not that way.
Well, that state is on my bucket list. Eventually, I'm going to start hunting out of state once I get Arkansas down, I guess.
Start putting your name in for points.
Yes.
Might be able to come here in 7 years. Yeah, I think Iowa's probably one of the hardest states to draw for.
Yeah, I was told next year to start putting in for like Kansas and some other states because it does take some time.
You know? So are you primarily just whitetail then?
Primarily, yes. I do duck hunt a little bit, squirrel, rabbit. That's easy. But yeah, primarily whitetail.
Does everybody waterfowl hunt in Arkansas?
Not everybody. No. A lot of people do.
Is that kind of the main, is that like baseball down there, kind of the pastime?
I don't know. I still think deer hunting trumps it.
Really?
Hmm.
What do you think keeps people from hunting that want to hunt, especially in Arkansas?
Land, having access, because unless you happen to get drawn for these rifle permit hunts on the WMAs, you have nowhere to go unless you know someone with land that's going to let you hunt. And then, yeah, I think that's the biggest one is just having somewhere to go.
Has like the land leasing and all that stuff kind of picked up in your area? Or do a lot of the landowners just maybe they let somebody hunt and aren't concerned about the extra income?
I know leasing land was bigger probably 10 or 15 years ago. I think most of the time now, if you know a farmer and you ask permission and, they trust you, they'll let you hunt their land. But it's just a matter of having a rapport or relationship with them to get to that point. And not everyone has that.
So you think land leases have gone downhill?
A little bit, yeah.
Wonder why that is.
Well, when I started dating my husband, he had some leases that they would go to. The prices went up, but then also I think the way that people treated the property made the owners not want to lease it.
That's interesting. They weren't doing their background checks on who's leasing.
Not really, no. This little podunk town. It was just a matter of if you had the money, you were in if there was a spot open.
Are hunting camps big there? Is that what they call them? Hunting camps? Hunting clubs.
Hunting clubs. If you're in a club, it's usually a duck club.
Really?
I don't know I don't know of any deer club.
Yeah, the whole concept of it is just new to me. So a hunting club, like 10 people go in on a lease and take turns hunting? How's that work?
So the leases that my family and my husband and his dad have been a part of is they have like so many slots. And if you were in it the year before, you have dibs. If you don't pay your fee by a certain time, that spot opens up, and it's usually word of mouth of the people that are already in it to invite you into that lease.
So a hunting club is basically just people in on a lease together.
That's the only way I can think of a hunting club. I don't know of any other dynamics for it.
Is kind of a fancy way of naming it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
When did you going back to this YouTube channel, when did you start that?
I think I posted my intro in the end of August.
How's that been growing?
Oh, it's very slow. I think I have 86 subs right now. Mostly it's my shorts, and my shorts are just a few of my TikToks that I just slide in there for filler to try and get a little people intrigued, I guess. Because again, the actual like videos I have turkeys. I have 8 turkeys coming, one hunt. A public land hunt, I have a deer I end up naming Tall Times come in, but you can't see him because it's so daggum dark and he's far out. And then I posted yesterday the video of that buck I saw on Sunday that got really close.
Are you just filming stuff on your phone?
I do use my phone some, but I have a DJI that I attach to the tree in some form. So I have footage from there. And then with the turkeys, and then with that deer that got really close, I had my phone too, because I knew I wasn't going to shoot him. He's too little. And I knew that I couldn't angle my camera or make my camera move to follow him if I'd spook him. So I had my camera angle and then my phone. But the DJI, if I'm in a tree, I can get it above me, and it actually has a pretty good pan of what I'm looking at.
How is the video quality? Is it like fisheye effect or does it look pretty good?
I think it looks pretty good for the price that I paid for it. I think it was like a $400 camera, and it's very user friendly. You can actually make it completely silent, so there's no sounds, and it can be voice controlled where you can tell it start recording or whatever. I think it's pretty good.
Is that what you do when a deer comes in? Camera start recording.
No, so it comes with 3 batteries, and especially when it's like that prime time where you're like, "Okay, it's now or never," I just keep it recording because I don't wanna have to move and I don't wanna have to speak to make it start rolling.
I wonder if they have like a little Bluetooth remote.
If they do, I need that, and I also need a microphone for it because 'cause I'm having to put captions up because my whispering is hard to hear.
I have them somewhere around here. Get the DJI mics.
Okay.
They're expensive, but they're right here. You probably see them all the time on TikTok. So it's just comes here. So this is the microphone. Then this would be like what you plug into your camera or your phone. It's got all the adapters. They sound really good.
Okay.
This could be like 100 feet away from you, like into the camera, and then you just wear this and it's all super slick.
Nice. Okay.
These are DJI. They have a couple different options. I think one set you can get for $120, like the minis.
That's my next fit to hunt investment for sure.
Yep. Now that you're turning professional,
I don't know about professional.
TikTok legend.
I don't know about that. It's definitely growing. It's very interesting to see some of the messages I get. It's so cool to see, like, are you hunting right now? Did you see anything when you went last time? What do you think about this? Probably someone asked me that. I don't know, but it's really cool.
What do you think the easiest social media platform is to grow?
TikTok so far. Instagram. I'm new to Instagram. So I have 3 platforms. I have TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube, very hard. Instagram, I think I started trying to grow that one about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm at a little over 300. I mean, that's still slow. And then TikTok, I'm at 32-ish hundred.
Yeah, man, I've been posting on Instagram for like 6 months and I don't even know if I'm at 100 yet.
I can help you out with that. I'll put you on my story.
It's hard.
It is hard. It's very competitive on Instagram.
Well, part of mine is most of my content's the same, just like people talking about random stuff on podcast, whereas you're out doing different stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure the more interesting, probably way more interesting than me, bigger hunters that you get on there, they would draw people into, I'm sure.
I don't want to interview some of those people though.
Okay, well, that's how you grow.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't want to turn into another podcast that's interviewing the same people that everybody else does.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
I want the no-name people.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So as you start getting more followers, what do you want people to know you as on social media? What do you want people to remember you by?
Someone that truly loves the outdoors, not doing it for show, that wants to teach, isn't afraid to show failures and be really excited and celebrate small successes that I would say normal people wouldn't consider it a success. I hope that I can show that hunting, you don't have to have the best of everything to enjoy it. You don't have to have the biggest trophy to enjoy it, and that you're always learning and there's always something that you can teach someone else.
Coming from somebody that's just got a brand new bow.
I'm still using, one of my viewers named her Old Bessie. I'm still using Old Bessie for the rest of the season. The new bow was a blessing, and I wouldn't have paid that for a new one with having 3 kids and working part time. There's no way. I'm not saying I'm not going to use it because they told me they invested in me, so I got to use it. But I didn't realize that anyone would notice how old my bow was. But I guess people are really into the equipment and they can just spot it like that.
I noticed it right away. I wasn't gonna send you a new bow, but I noticed it.
I was taught to take care of my equipment, and because I have, that thing is in excellent shape.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to bring a lot of authenticity to other hunters, whereas everybody just wants to show the glamorous side of things.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not, don't get me wrong. I wear makeup to the deer stand. I want to look cute, but I'm not a fake person. I'm very honest. There's been 2 camo companies reach out to me wanting me to wear their stuff. I politely declined because I didn't like their camo. I've had other people ask me if I want to wear this or that, or they can give me this or that and show that I'm going to be sponsored. If I don't like the stuff, even if it's free, I'm not going to advertise it because I'm not a fake person.
Who were the camel brands?
I'm not going to say, I'm not going to step on nobody's toes. I ain't trying to offend anybody, but
Sitka?
no, I wish. They were smaller companies. I don't want to be slap anyone in the face or step on anyone's toes, but even if it's free, if it's not something that I like or something that I would truly want to use, I'm not going to push it off on someone else, even if it's free. So I'm pretty honest and raw. My content's really raw because I don't know how to edit very well, but I'm authentic to what I believe in and how I like to go about things. I hope people are able to pick up whenever they watch my content.
There you go. Does your husband get into social media at all?
No. So he's in 2 of my TikToks. If you scroll way down, and that last one that he was in, I was trying to do a funny one, and it was about him touching my bow. We didn't even finish it because he was like, "I am too old to be doing these silly TikToks. I don't want any part of this." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." That's the last one he was in. But when I got that new bow, he was like, "People are actually interested in this. What if I get one? You gonna post it?" "No, I'm not gonna post it. You're out on this. You done gave up on me."
Yeah. I don't want to sound bad doing this, but I think being a female trying to grow, like, if you have good content, if a guy has the same quality of content you do, I think the girl's going to grow a lot faster.
For sure. Absolutely, for sure. I get it. But 90% of my followers are males. Y'all do it to yourselves.
You'll start getting some more stuff, and he'll probably be wondering, well, maybe I should have started that with you.
Oh, I think after the Matthews showed up, he changed his tune. And I've gotten a few other things in the mail to try. And he's kind of like, at first he was like, it's just a hobby, don't take it serious. And now he's like, other people are investing in you. Maybe this is going to be a little bit bigger than what he was thinking. I don't know.
Yeah. If he did it on his own, he probably wouldn't be as far as you.
Yeah, I get that.
Girls can hunt just as good as guys. I think there's just less girls doing what you're doing. Like every guy that hunts is trying to be famous on TikTok when there's not a lot of girls that actually know what they're doing out there yet. Kind of helps you stand out a little bit.
Yeah. And that's another part of my approach. Because I was telling you, I didn't have someone that I could really work up to whenever it came to this hobby or sport or whatever you want to call it. But whenever you do see it, you see the female in the stand, see her make the shot, but is she on the tractor filling up food plots? Is she scouting? Is she hanging her own cameras? Is she able to put a stand up? I don't see a lot of that. There is that, don't get me wrong, but I like to show that I'm learning and I can do all of it. Maybe not very well, but I'm still doing it.
Hey, as long as you're being authentic about it, there's a lot more than just when the arrow goes through the deer.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I do hope that, and I think it comes across better on some of my YouTube videos. I tell you, like, should have done this, didn't do this, or this worked out really well, but it is what it is, and it's real, and it's not staged, and I don't edit anything out to make myself look better. If anything, I'm showing you all of it.
That's probably a perfect segue into the last portion of this podcast. We like to hear some embarrassing stories at the end. So, do you have any embarrassing, funny stories to share with our listeners?
Embarrassing, funny stories. Yeah. So you're not supposed to have cameras on public land.
Sounds like you didn't know that at one time.
And it wasn't because I was putting one up. It was because I was trying to use a little girl's room in the woods. So you got to look for that.
What?
So that happened. I think that I was enough out of, well, it never surfaced. That and trying on public land, getting set up. And whenever it was light enough, the person that was hunting the same area was like not far. And it was like kind of a standoff and very frustrating. Those are probably my top two.
How'd you find out you were on camera?
I looked up and I saw the camera.
Oh, I gotcha. I figured somebody you knew sent you this picture.
Oh, no, no, no. No, I think I was far enough away. But at the same time, I learned you always check. Even though you're not supposed to have them, they're out there. So you got to make sure you're good.
Sounds like the kids are in perfect timing. Was it light out when you were doing that?
It was dusky.
Really? Should have flicked off the camera.
I know.
Hey, buddy.
Hi. This is the youngest.
He's sweating.
Yeah, he's been playing outside. This is Brooks.
Hey, Brooks.
Show him how you shoot a buck. Where's your bow? Shoot your bow.
Got him.
Yay! Got him.
Cool deal. Well, I appreciate you joining. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Sounds like you got kids to feed and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Wreck It Ralph here for sure.
All right. We'll be in touch.